Aging isn't about slowing down, it's about stepping into your power. Welcome to Don't Let the Old Lady In, the podcast where we challenge outdated beliefs about getting older and embrace wellness, self-love, and confidence. Your host is Lori Gardner, a registered nurse and nationally board-certified health and wellness coach, and she is your guide on this journey to vibrant, mindful living. Each episode will explore topics that nourish your mind, body, and spirit, and how to navigate health issues in the healthcare system as you age, so you can live with energy, purpose, and joy. Let's get started. Here's your host, Lori Gardner. Welcome back to Don't Let the Old Lady In. And I'm your host, Lori Gardner, and I'm so excited because I am starting an amazing series. And I'm starting something new that's incredibly important, a series that I honestly wish every single family had before walking into a hospital. Because here's the truth. Hospitals save lives every day for sure, but they're also one of the places where patients are the most vulnerable. And what most people don't realize is the difference between a smooth recovery and a complication often comes down to one thing: who is paying attention? That's where you come in. You're not just visiting. You're not in the way. You're not being difficult. You are part of the care team. And I want to make sure that you are equipped with the right information. So this podcast series is about hospital safety. I'm going to go through 10 different scenarios that you can run into in the hospital, but I'm also doing it in collaboration with an amazing program and project called the Care Partner Project, and you have to check out the website, Care Partner Project. I want to just, who started this is a great colleague and dear friend of mine, Karen Curtis, and I just want you to understand their mission. They are dedicated to demystifying health care with plain language and simple to-do checklists so all of us can support our loved ones with confidence and grace. And what happens when you do this, ladies? Vulnerable patients have informed, capable, and proactive care. And so that is so important. And life does not prepare us to navigate the healthcare world when our loved ones need us most. That is why I actually started my business. I've been a nurse patient advocate I just hit 16 years. And what I have seen in 16 years is nothing short of amazing. And I'm so happy for the hundreds of patients I've been able to help. So I just want to give my hats off and bravo to Karen Curtis, who has started this project. And she has checklists. She works with hospitals. She is all about hospital safety. And if you ever get a chance, get to her website and listen to her very heartwarming personal story about why she got started. What is her why? We all need to know our whys, right? I invite you to listen to it. It really is good. And definitely check out the website. It's got every checklist you can imagine related to hospitalization. So when a loved one is in the hospital, most families assume the medical team has everything under control. But the reality is this: hospital care is complex, fast-moving, and often overwhelming. And families are rarely told how important their role truly is. So this series, it's designed to change that. So each episode, I will break down one critical area of a hospital stay in clear, compassionate, and a practical way through real-life stories, simple explanations, and actionable scripts and guides. You'll learn how to navigate the healthcare system with clarity, confidence, and calm. I'll go over things like how do you become a good care partner, hospital falls, how to prevent them, hospital infections, blood clots, medication errors, bed sores, UTIs and catheters. And these last three are really the most important. Trusting your gut in the hospital when something feels off. Also, the hospital discharge mistakes. This can be an enormous issue. And then how to speak up in the hospital. I mean, you can have a checklist, but maybe you have a difficult time speaking up. I'm going to help you with that for sure. So you'll understand what normal is and what a warning sign is. You'll understand, and it will help you ask clear, confident questions without feeling intimidated. I'll help you recognize risks before they become serious complications. I'll help you support loved ones without feeling overwhelmed or powerless. And also, really important, how to communicate effectively with the hospital staff. And then we will also talk about navigating transitions of care, including discharge, with confidence. So, this podcast is so important because hospital complications are not caused by one major mistake. They often happen because small warning signs are missed, misunderstood, or not spoken about in time. So you don't need medical training to make a difference. You just need awareness, confidence, and the right questions. And that's what this series is going to give you. So my mission is pretty simple. As a nurse, registered nurse, board certified health and wellness coach, I help families navigate complex healthcare systems, advocate effectively for them in the hospital, feel empowered. I want you to feel like you're never alone or powerless in a hospital ever again. So listen up, because it's going to be really good information. And, if you need further support, you can go to thecarepartnerproject.org and check that out. I will also have guides at some point for you. Just get in touch with me. So why does this matter? So let me just paint you a picture to start with. Your loved one's in the hospital. They're tired, maybe medicated, maybe overwhelmed. Nurses are caring for multiple patients. And I want to preface this whole series with, when I start talking about complications and all of that and safety, I am not ever going to put down a nurse or a doctor, because 99% of them are so caring and so kind. I mean, yes, there are some issues. I'm not going to deny that with some competency. But generally speaking, the majority of caregivers, nurses, doctors, everybody are very competent and care. But the system itself is what's failing, not the people. So I just want to paint that picture first. But your loved one's in the hospital, but things might happen. Nurses are caring, like I said, for multiple patients. Doctors are moving quickly, and things happen. A medication gets delayed. Someone forgets to wash their hands. A patient tries to get up alone. A subtle symptom gets missed. Not because people don't care, but because the system is stretched. And that's not criticism. That's reality. This is where care partners, where you, as the loved one sitting there as a visitor, can change outcomes. I don't want any of you to sit there as just a visitor. I want you to be somebody, should be a point guard, should be a care partner. So most people walk into a hospital thinking, I don't want to bother anyone. I'm sure they've got it handled, or I'll just sit here quietly. And I want to lovingly challenge that strongly. Sitting quietly can actually be risky, because you are the one person who knows the patient best and notices small changes and can ask questions in real time and can catch things early. You're not replacing medical care. You are supporting safe care. Think of yourself as an extra set of eyes, an extra set of ears, a voice when your loved one can't speak up. I'll give you an example. I have a neighbor, an amazing neighbor of mine of 30 plus years, and she was elderly, but she's sharp as a tack, and things were happening. I don't want to go into details, but she was in the hospital. When I went to see her, I was astounded. She was out of it. And to keep the story short, I know her very well. I know that she is very sensitive to medications, and I went to the nurse, introduced myself, and kindly said, did you put her on any new medications? And they put her on a medication that's been around forever. Nobody would ever connect the fact that she was put on this medication and became totally out of it, almost totally demented. And I asked them kindly, I said, please take her off that medication. She's hypersensitive. The baseline that you're seeing her come in here as is not her. Now, had I not done that, they would have kept her on that medication. She probably would have tanked. She probably would have been sent to a memory care unit. We took her off the medication. She was back in 24 hours. Astonishing, isn't it? Astonishing. We need somebody who knows the person and somebody who can speak up. So there are a lot of hospital risks. And over this series, we're going to break down the most common hospital complications like falls, medication errors, infections, blood clots, and on. And something I just will call, something just feels off. When I worked as a young nurse at NYU Medical Center, really, really busy, there were times where I would call the house staff, I would call the resident or the intern, and I would make my rounds for the evening shift. I was super busy. I would go call them and say, something's just off. And they would ask me all the questions. What's the vital signs? This, that, and the other thing. I'd say they all seem normal, but their skin color is slightly gray. Something's off. Something's happening. And I would request them to do what we call blood gases, because that really shows you a little more of what's going on. And they would fight me, and I would argue, and I would push, and they would finally come up. And I would say 90% of the time I was right. Something just felt off. And generally, I knew my patients really well because they were there for quite some time. So that's really important to remember. And none of these are rare risks, but many of them are just preventable. Somebody said, and it might have been Karen Curtis, said that the number of hospital errors is equivalent, that happen in a day, are equivalent to 3 jumbo jets crashing and everybody dying in one day. It's a lot. It's a lot. So I really want to promote prevention through awareness and action. So a lot of times a patient needs help getting to the bathroom, right? They don't want to bother the nurse, so they try to go it alone, and they fall. That fall turns into a fracture, a longer hospital stay, and a completely different recovery path. And when you talk to families after, they often say, I wish I had known to speak up. That's why we're doing this. That's why I'm doing this series. And I will tell you, if somebody's over 65 and they take that fall and they break that hip, there's a high percentage of those cases they will not live past a year. So it's really, really important. What can you do about all this? Well, let's make this practical. Here's how you start stepping into your role today. 1, ask simple, direct questions. Like, what is the plan for today? And what should I be watching out for? And is there anything we can help with as we sit at the bedside? Number 2, speak up early. Not aggressively, not confrontationally, but clearly. Like, can you help us with that? Or I just want to double check something. Or that seems different. Can we look at it together? Nothing accusatory there, right? But you're just saying, could you help me understand this more? I just want to double check it. I'm not sure I fully understood it. Can you check this for me? Something seems different. Can we look at it together? These are all things that you could do to speak up early. 3, pay attention to changes. You know it's normal. So if something feels off, trust that instinct, like I just said. Number 4, use the checklist mindset. And also make sure you go to the carepartnerproject.org. You can get any checklist that you want there for anything related to the hospital. They're amazing. Take the checklist with you to the hospital. Or if you're in the hospital, just download them. You can download them and put them right on your phone. And so they will help you know what to look for, know what to ask, and feel confident, not overwhelmed. So one of the biggest barriers I see is fear of speaking up. But let's really talk about that. It's not knowledge. It's just hesitation. I don't want to be annoying. Clients have said to me, I don't want to be annoying. They're professionals. What do I know? I hear a lot from my clients. And what if I'm wrong? I hear a lot of this. A lot of times that's why I'm hired. They can't quite communicate effectively. But let me say this really clearly. You can be kind and speak up at the same time. I coach people all the time. Sometimes people hire me to do healthcare navigation, but they're also hiring me to navigate a doctor's office visit. Like, how do they effectively communicate succinctly in the time they're given, and say it with clarity, with kindness, and it absolutely can be done. And you can be very respectful and ask questions. So, good healthcare providers want to engage families. In fact, now I love some of the things going on in the hospitals, like when they do rounds. Typically in the past, they did rounds with the hospital staff and the interns, the residents. Now they're including everyone, social workers, discharge planners, the family. So get involved with that if you can. And if you're not sure what to say, use this. I know you're busy, but can I ask a quick question? That's really a good opening. Or you could say, I just want to make sure we're understanding everything. Or you could say, can you walk me through this one more time? I really need to understand it. Simple, calm, and effective. So this episode is just the beginning, ladies. In the next episodes, we're going to go deep into more specifics. And, it's all about don't let the old lady in. But it's also even though this might be like, maybe I don't want to live. This is hard stuff. I'm not in the hospital. Nobody else is in the hospital. I don't need it right now. You never know when you're going to need it. Get your education now so you are already proactively setting yourself up, because chances are you're going to get in the hospital or a loved one's going to be in there, and you want to be prepared. Think of this as, you prepare for aging in a lot of different ways. You make a will, you plan your finances, all of that. You plan your retirement, plan for a hospital stay, because that's actually more life-threatening than the other things. So I hope you commit to yourself to listen to these. And each of them, I will give you some real-life stories, things to watch out for. You'll get those checklist reminders again and the exact questions to ask. So ladies, this is not about fear. It's about empowerment. And I want you to be able to walk into any hospital room thinking, I know how to keep my loved one or myself safe, although it's not always helpful to be your own advocate. I've done it, I've tried it, and I've done it okay. Better to have somebody else there with you. So again, I want to make sure you understand that you can go to the carepartnerproject.org, download any kind of guide for free. They're simple, they're clear. It's a great, I'll provide the link down in the show notes. And please share this with someone. Chances are you know somebody that's got somebody in the hospital. Please share it with them. And this is information everyone should have before they need it. So ladies, another way to keep that old lady out. We don't want to get in that hospital in the first place, do we? Oh, no. But if we do, we want to be prepared. That's what keeping the old lady out is all about. Being prepared with our health, with our mind, our body, our spirits, and the whole show. So please share this with anyone. And
that's a wrap on today's episode of Don't Let the Old Lady In. Remember, age is just a number.
In the next
your mindset,
9
energy,
episodes after this one. So I hope you come back. I hope you listen to it.
This episode spoke to you.
And
don't keep it to
you
yourself.
can always have these as a
Share it with
reference for you as well.
Subscribe and leave a review.
You know where to get me. And until next time, ladies,
you are strong,
that old lady in.
vibrant, and unstoppable. Until next time, keep living boldly, loving yourself fully, and most importantly, don't let the old lady in.